Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chill English Channel. I'm Sophia, and I'm very happy you're spending some time with us today.
And I'm Jake. Maybe you're listening at home, walking outside, traveling to work, or simply relaxing after a long day. Wherever you are, we hope you can enjoy some calm English practice with us.
Today we're talking about something personal and important, respecting yourself, especially when you spend a lot of time thinking about what other people want from you.
Yes, because being kind to other people is important, but sometimes we become so focused on pleasing everyone that we forget to respect our own feelings, time, and needs.
And today's conversation is not about becoming selfish or ignoring other people.
Exactly. It's about understanding that your needs matter too. You can care about others without always putting yourself last.
Before we go deeper, here's a simple question to think about while you listen. When was the last time you said yes to someone when you really wanted to say no?
I think many people suddenly remembered something.
I definitely did. Sometimes we say yes because we want to help, but sometimes we say yes because we're afraid of disappointing someone.
Or we worry that they'll think we're rude, difficult, or unfriendly. And that can create a strange situation. You say yes to another person, but inside, you're saying no to yourself.
That's a powerful way to describe it. If it happens occasionally, it may not be a big problem, but if it becomes a habit, you can start feeling exhausted or frustrated.
Let's talk about what self-respect actually means, because people sometimes misunderstand this idea.
Self-respect means recognizing your own value and treating yourself like someone whose feelings, limits, and time are important.
It doesn't mean believing you're better than everyone else.
And it definitely doesn't mean walking into a room and thinking, "Excellent, the most important person has arrived."
Please don't introduce yourself like that at a party.
I'll remove it from my social skills plan. Self-respect is usually much quieter than that. It can mean speaking honestly, protecting your boundaries, leaving situations that repeatedly hurt you, and not changing yourself just to receive approval.
Approval is a useful word here. Approval means a positive opinion or acceptance from another person.
Most of us enjoy approval. It feels good when people like us, support us, or agree with our choices.
The problem begins when we need other people's approval before we can feel good about ourselves.
For example, imagine you want to choose a certain career, but your friends don't think it sounds impressive.
If you respect yourself, you can listen to their opinions, think carefully about them, and still make your own decision.
Their opinion can be information, but it doesn't have to become an instruction.
I like that distinction. Listening to someone is not the same as obeying them.
Jake, have you ever made a decision mainly because you wanted other people to be happy?
Definitely. When I was younger, I found it difficult to say no when friends asked me to do something.
Even when you didn't want to?
Yes, I remember agreeing to plans when I was completely tired because I didn't want anyone to think I was boring.
And did you enjoy yourself after you went?
Sometimes, but other times I would sit there thinking, why am I here? My sofa needs me.
Your poor sofa waiting alone at home.
Exactly. Eventually, I realized that saying no to one invitation didn't mean I was rejecting the friendship.
That's an important lesson. A boundary is not automatically a rejection.
A boundary is a limit you create to protect your time, energy, comfort, or well-being.
For example, if a coworker regularly asks you to finish their tasks, you might eventually say, "I'm sorry, but I can't take on extra work today."
That sentence is polite, but it is also clear.
And notice that you don't need a 15-minute explanation.
That can be difficult for people who are used to pleasing others. They say, "I'm really sorry, and normally I would, and I hope you're not upset, and maybe tomorrow."
By the end, you've almost convinced yourself to say yes again.
Exactly. Sometimes a respectful "I can't today" is enough.
This connects to the expression people-pleasing. A people-pleaser often tries very hard to make other people happy, sometimes at the cost of their own needs.
People-pleasing can look like kindness from the outside, but the reason behind it may be fear.
Fear of conflict, fear of criticism, or fear that someone will stop liking you.
And that is where self-respect becomes important. You begin to understand that being disliked by someone does not automatically mean you did something wrong.
That can take time to learn because many of us naturally want to be accepted, but you cannot control everyone's opinion of you.
Imagine trying to make every person you meet happy with everything you do.
I'm already tired just imagining it.
Me too. And even if you tried, it wouldn't work because different people expect different things from you.
One person wants you to speak more. Another thinks you talk too much. One person wants you to work harder. Another says you should relax.
If you constantly change direction according to other people's opinions, eventually you may stop knowing what you actually want.
So a useful question is not only, will other people like this decision, but also, does this decision respect who I am? That question can apply to friendships, work, relationships, family expectations, and even small everyday choices.
And self-respect sometimes means accepting a little discomfort. Someone may be disappointed when you say no or choose differently.
Their disappointment doesn't always mean you need to change your decision.
You can care about someone's feelings while still respecting your own limits.
In fact, healthy relationships usually need both kindness and boundaries.
Because when you can be honest about what you need, your relationships become less about fear and more about genuine respect.
One of the hardest places to practice self-respect is in relationships with people we really care about.
Absolutely. Saying no to a stranger can be easy, but saying no to a close friend, partner, coworker, or family member can feel completely different.
Because we don't want to hurt them, and sometimes we feel responsible for keeping them happy.
But there is an important difference between caring about someone's feelings and becoming responsible for every feeling they have.
Let's imagine a simple situation. A friend calls you late at night and wants to talk for an hour, but you have an important morning and really need to sleep.
A people-pleasing response might be, "Sure, no problem," even though inside you're thinking, "Please let me sleep."
And then the next morning, you're drinking your third coffee and regretting your life choices.
Exactly. An assertive response with more self-respect could be, "I want to hear what happened, but I need to sleep now. Can we talk tomorrow?"
That sentence still shows care. You're not saying, your problems don't matter to me.
You're simply saying that your need for rest matters too.
This is where the word assertive becomes useful.
Assertive means expressing what you think, feel, or need clearly and confidently while still respecting the other person.
Assertive is different from aggressive.
Yes, aggressive communication might sound like, "Stop calling me so late, you always disturb me." While an assertive version could be, "I usually go to bed early, so could we talk before 9 when possible?"
Same boundary, very different energy.
And there's another communication style, passive.
A passive person may say nothing at all, continue accepting the situation, and slowly become more frustrated.
So, we have 3 useful ideas. Passive means you often ignore your own needs.
Aggressive means you may ignore the other person's needs.
And assertive communication tries to respect both sides.
Jake, do you find it easy to be assertive?
Easier now than before, but I used to think that being a good person meant always being available.
That sounds exhausting.
It was. If someone needed help, I immediately said yes. If someone wanted to meet, I changed my schedule. If someone asked for a favor, I rarely stopped to ask whether I actually had the time.
What changed?
I noticed that I was becoming irritated with people who hadn't necessarily done anything wrong.
Because you were agreeing to things you didn't really want to do?
Exactly. I realized I was blaming people for boundaries that I had never communicated.
That is such an important point. Sometimes we expect people to magically understand our limits.
Unfortunately, most people cannot read minds. I've tested this several times.
Very scientific research, Jake.
Thank you. So now I try to communicate earlier instead of waiting until I'm frustrated.
That also prevents resentment. Resentment means a feeling of anger or bitterness that can grow when you believe you're being treated unfairly.
And constantly putting other people first can sometimes create resentment even when you originally wanted to help them. You say yes, 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 and then one day you think, why does everyone expect so much from me?
But sometimes they expect it because you've taught them that you will always say yes.
That can be uncomfortable to admit, but it gives you something useful: the ability to change the pattern.
Another area where self-respect matters is criticism.
Criticism can be difficult because one negative comment can stay in our minds much longer than 10 positive ones.
Imagine that you work hard on something and 9 people tell you they like it.
Then one person says, I don't think it's very good.
And what do you think about when you go to bed?
Obviously the one person.
Exactly. Suddenly, the 9 positive comments disappear from your memory.
Self-respect doesn't mean ignoring all criticism. Some criticism can help you improve.
The important skill is learning to evaluate it instead of automatically accepting it as truth.
You can ask, does this person understand the situation? Is their feedback specific? Can I learn something useful from it?
And also, is this criticism about something I did, or is someone attacking who I am?
That difference matters. A respectful person can tell you, I think you handled that situation badly, without saying you're a terrible person.
Self-respect allows you to admit mistakes without turning those mistakes into your identity.
You can say, yes, I made a poor decision, instead of, I'm a failure.
That sounds simple, but the language we use with ourselves can strongly affect how we see ourselves.
Which brings us to another form of self-respect: keeping promises to yourself.
We often take promises to other people very seriously.
If I tell Sophia I'll meet her at 10, I'll try to arrive at 10.
I appreciate that, especially because Jake's definition of 10 used to be approximately 10:15.
I've grown as a person.
But when we make a promise to ourselves, we sometimes treat it as optional.
You say, I'll exercise tomorrow, I'll study tonight, or I'll stop checking work messages after dinner.
Then another request appears, and your promise to yourself is the first thing you cancel.
Over time, that can affect the trust you have in yourself.
Self-trust grows when your actions show that your own words matter.
That doesn't mean you must follow every plan perfectly. Life changes, and sometimes plans need to change too.
But there is a difference between changing a plan for a real reason and constantly abandoning yourself for everyone else.
One useful habit is to pause before answering requests.
Instead of automatically saying yes, you can say, let me check my schedule, or can I think about it and get back to you?
That small pause gives you time to ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Do I have the energy? What will I have to give up if I say yes?
And sometimes the answer will still be yes, because helping others can be meaningful and enjoyable.
But now your yes is a choice, not an automatic reaction based on fear.
That difference is at the heart of self-respect. You begin making decisions from your values instead of constantly trying to avoid other people's disappointment.
And the more you practice that, the easier it becomes to be generous with others without disappearing from your own life.
Now, let's talk about what happens when you start respecting yourself more, because the change may feel uncomfortable at first.
Yes. You might expect to feel confident immediately, but sometimes setting a new boundary makes you feel guilty.
Especially if you have spent years being the person who always agrees, always helps, and rarely complains.
The first time you say, I can't do that today, your brain might immediately ask, was that rude? Are they angry? Should I send another message?
And then you stare at your phone for 10 minutes waiting for their reply.
Exactly. But feeling guilty does not automatically mean you have done something wrong.
Sometimes guilt simply appears because you're doing something differently from what you normally do.
And with practice, healthy boundaries can start to feel more natural.
Another important part of self-respect is choosing how you allow people to treat you.
We cannot control other people's behavior, but we can decide what behavior we are willing to accept repeatedly.
For example, imagine a friend constantly makes jokes about you that make you uncomfortable.
You might laugh because everyone else is laughing, even though you don't find it funny.
Self-respect could mean saying calmly, I know you're joking, but I don't like jokes about that.
A respectful friend might not realize they were hurting you, and your honesty gives them a chance to change.
But if someone knows a behavior hurts you and continues doing it again and again, that tells you something important.
At that point, self-respect may involve creating more distance.
And distance doesn't always need a dramatic goodbye speech with emotional music playing in the background.
That's disappointing. I had already prepared my speech.
Sometimes it simply means spending less time in a situation that repeatedly leaves you feeling disrespected.
Another common problem is comparison.
Oh, yes, it's very easy to compare your appearance, income, career, relationships, or progress with other people.
Especially online, where we often see the most attractive parts of someone's life.
You see their new job, vacation, beautiful home, or exciting achievement, but you don't see every difficult day behind the picture.
Then you compare their highlight with your normal Tuesday afternoon.
And somehow your Tuesday loses every competition.
Self-respect means remembering that another person's success does not reduce your value.
You can admire someone without using their life as evidence that yours is not good enough.
You can say, that person is doing well, and I'm happy for them. I'm also building my own life at my own pace.
Your pace is an important idea. Not everyone needs to reach the same milestones at the same age.
Some people discover their career early. Others change direction at 30, 40, 50, or later.
Some people want a very ambitious professional life. Others value peace, family time, freedom, or simplicity more.
Respecting yourself means becoming clear about what matters to you instead of copying someone else's definition of a good life.
Let's review some useful vocabulary from our conversation.
The first word is self-respect. Self-respect means recognizing your own value and treating your needs, feelings, and limits as important.
Next is boundary. A boundary is a limit that helps protect your time, energy, comfort, or well-being.
We also used assertive. Being assertive means communicating your needs and opinions clearly while still respecting other people.
Another word is approval. Approval means acceptance or a positive opinion from someone else.
And people-pleasing describes trying very hard to keep other people happy, sometimes while ignoring your own needs.
We also talked about resentment, a feeling of anger or bitterness that can grow when you feel unfairly treated.
Another useful idea is self-trust. Self-trust means having confidence in your own judgment and believing that you can depend on yourself.
Now let's make these ideas practical with a small challenge.
Think about one situation in your life where you often ignore what you really want because you are worried about another person's reaction.
It doesn't have to be something serious. Maybe you agree to plans when you need rest.
Maybe you accept extra work when your schedule is already full.
Or perhaps you stay quiet when someone says something that makes you uncomfortable.
Then ask yourself, what would a respectful but honest response sound like?
You might say, I appreciate you asking, but I can't today.
Or, I understand your opinion, but I need to make this decision for myself.
Or simply, I'm not comfortable with that.
Notice that none of these sentences are aggressive. They are calm, clear, and respectful.
And that is really the message of our conversation today. Respecting yourself more does not require respecting other people less.
In fact, when you stop helping people only because you are afraid of disappointing them, your kindness can become more genuine.
You help because you choose to help. You listen because you choose to listen. And when you need to say no, you can do that respectfully too.
You also stop expecting yourself to be available, agreeable, and perfect for everyone.
Before we finish, think again about the question we asked at the beginning. When was the last time you said yes when you really wanted to say no?
And now add another question. What could you say differently if that situation happened again?
If you want to practice your English, write your answer in the comments using this sentence. I can respect myself more by...
Maybe your answer is setting a boundary, speaking more honestly, protecting your time, or simply saying no without giving a long explanation.
Thank you for spending this time with us on Chill English Channel. We hope this conversation gave you useful English expressions and something meaningful to think about.
Remember, other people's opinions can matter without controlling your choices.
Be kind to people, listen to them, and respect them, but remember to include yourself in that respect.
Keep practicing your English, keep trusting your voice, and thank you for listening to Chill English Channel.